Conservative Senator Joe Manchin still refuses to support the budget reconciliation bill, but now, for the first time, he has uttered the top line number that he is comfortable with voting for. So the $3.5 trillion price tag on the reconciliation bill is a no-go for him. He has offered $1.5 trillion, to which leader of the Progressive Caucus, Pramila Jayapal, says you can go F off. Not those words exactly, but effectively. And progressives overall reject it. We're gonna get to Cori Bush and AOC in just a moment. But first, reporters over at Capitol Hill caught up with Senator Joe Manchin. Let's hear what he has to say.
Now, but what do you say to people who feel you and Senator Sinema are holding this whole thing up?
I'm not holding it. We only have 50 votes. Basically, take whatever we aren't able to come to agreement with today, and take that on the campaign trail next year. And I'm sure that they'll get many more liberal, progressive Democrats with what they say they want.
We only got 50 votes. Yeah, you're holding it up. There's a slim majority in the Senate with the VP as the tie-breaking vote. Both Manchin and Sinema have proudly served as obstacles to the passage of this wildly popular reconciliation bill, which is not just popular throughout the country, it's popular within the states that they represent. Not just with Democrats, but with Republican voters as well.
Okay, so
it's infuriating.
We got another great clip of Manchin coming up later, which I'm even more animated about. But I love this clip because he's like, we only have 50 votes, and I'm the 50th, so that's the one why I'm holding it up, so I can get more for myself and my corporate donors. Like they don't even try to make sense. No, you're making our point for us. You're not making your own point. That doesn't make any sense. And they're used to steamrolling reporters, but as you're gonna see a little bit later, that steamrolling went awry. And so, but overall, I just wanted to scream, progressives, hold the line.
They are.
Hold the line, and they're doing a great job of holding the line.
They really are.
Look at that, man. I mean, all the way from $15 minimum wage collapse to all of a sudden a pillar of strength here. So I love it. And by the way, credit to Bernie Sanders' team. They're doing really effective strategy here.
They are, and let me also just note that today is the day where the bipartisan infrastructure bill is supposed to get a vote on the House floor. Nancy Pelosi has said that she will not bring any legislation forward unless she knows she has the votes necessary to pass it. Progressives are staying true to their promise. They're like, nope, we're gonna vote no unless we get the passage of the reconciliation bill. And so right now, whether or not the vote on the bipartisan infrastructure bill happens tonight is really up in the air. So we can have our predictions, but Pelosi so far claims that she's still gonna hold the vote. But there are other members of Congress who are like, I don't know, because we don't have the votes necessary to pass it. Manu Raju tweeted, two totally different realities in the House just now. Representative Gottheimer, a corporate Democrat in the House, walks in and basically has this confidence that they're not only gonna hold the vote, but they're gonna pass it. He thinks he's gonna be sipping champagne later tonight. And then Pramila Jayapal comes in and is like, no, we're gonna vote no, and we have the votes necessary to block this bipartisan infrastructure bill, AKA the corporate handout bill. Now, nope, I'm gonna go to AOC and Cori.
We're going to AOC, guys.
All right, so let's go to them because reporters caught up with them on Capitol Hill as well, and I love the statements that they had, so let's take a look.
So if this is really about the deficit, then maybe we go after our defense spending and find our savings there instead of going after people's child care.
I asked him today, is that his top line number? Would he go up? He said no, he is firm on 1.5 trillion. So would you be willing to come down?
You know what, where are the investments? My question is, who is he saying, who is he pinpointing? You know what, you all don't deserve the investment in climate. You all don't deserve 2 years of college. You all, who is he taking the money from? That's my question, because let's be clear, 3.5 wasn't our number. I was more at this, I was at the 6, and so when you take it down to 3.5 trillion, then you tell us, no, we won't even do that, we want to do 1.5. Who is it that you feel is so set up and stable and in a position to where they don't have needs, to where it's okay to make this decision? Because being clear, he does not need any of the resources that we're talking about.
This is perfect, right? Cenk, you mentioned strategy. I think the strategy is so good here because it's not just about threatening to withhold your vote. It's also about repetitive messaging. And every single progressive who's granting interviews is using the same accurate messaging. In fact, they're doing it so effectively that it's now being repeated by corporate media. Perfect, perfect. That's what Republicans do all the time. I love it. And we'll give you other examples in just a minute, Cenk.
Yeah, so you're right. Let me go over a couple of talking points people are using incredibly effectively. God, this is such a new day in America. I can't tell you how happy I am. I've never seen progressives hold. I've never seen them affect a vote in 25 years of covering politics. So, and now finally we have power. And so, and by the way, until 2016, until AOC's win, media never ever covered progressives. That includes 2015 when Bernie Sanders did a historic 50-point run on Hillary Clinton and barely got no coverage. And so now though, they're going on air and saying, wait, let's talk about corporate donors. Oh, unprecedented. And now reporters are starting to ask Manchin and Sinema about donors. Unprecedented.
Delicious.
They're asking, okay, you just saw Cori Bush do it. Tell me what you're gonna cut. Go ahead, tell me you're gonna cut the child tax credit. I dare you. Tell me that you're gonna increase drug prices. Go ahead, I dare you. Go ahead, all right? Tell me you wanna keep taxes for the rich, or the tax cuts for the rich, which is what Sinema is saying. All right, then let's battle on that. And by the way, the third talking point is, we have the Biden plan. This is the Biden plan. This is the Democratic Party unity plan. You guys are against unity. Manchin, Sinema, Gottheimer, you guys are the ones screwing up unity, not us. So that is a talking point that has been used to bash progressives for a quarter century straight. Now they're flipping it and going, well, you said unity and you're not doing it, and it is being super effective. I wanna say two more things. One is Gottheimer, one of the most corrupt politicians in all of Congress, Democrat or Republican, takes the most amount of money from Blackstone. That's his number one set of donors, the employees, executives, etc. Blackstone is a private equity company. His wife works as consultants for private equity. He himself is invested into a venture capital company, and he religiously protects the rich and Wall Street. So do not ever let those reporters call them moderates. Those are corporate Democrats.
I have to jump in on that because just before the show, I was watching CNN to see, the framing of this whole debate, this whole debacle. And what I found fascinating was on Jake Tapper's show, there was a panel. I believe David Axelrod was one of the panelists. And the topic of the topic of Gottheimer came up. And Tapper was like, progressives keep alleging that there's like a corruption issue here, but I don't know. I think they genuinely believe the things that they're saying in regard to Gottheimer, right?
Yeah.
And of course, Axelrod jumps in and he's like, oh, I'm very good friends with him and he's a great guy.
I don't give a damn who you're friends with.
But the reason why I bring that up is because that narrative in corporate media certainly still exists. Tapper is like, I don't know, let me dip my toe in that, denial of corruption nonsense and see if it plays well. And of course, the panel goes along with it. But make no mistake about it, this is about corporate Democrats who are captured by corporate interests and their own personal financial interests versus progressive lawmakers who actually want to do right by their constituents and the American people. That's what this debate is really about.
Yeah, and I'm going to do a general shout out here to everyone who believed. Bernie 2016 had staffers that started brand new Congress and Justice Democrats. Those two groups found AOC and Cori Bush. Cori Bush ran twice to win. There's now 10 Justice Democrats and they're swinging the vote. Who did that? That was staffers for Bernie in 2016 that formed those two groups. Now, I was part of the Just Democrat one, but it was mainly the staffers who filled those and found the candidates, and you guys who volunteered, donated, etc. And look at that, you got power. I told you could get power. I told you, and you did. You did it, right? Now keep going. So anytime anybody tells you there isn't hope, they're liars. They're trying to get you to stand down. Hold the line. We go fight and we win. Look at this. It's happening right now.
So I want to go to the next video because AOC makes it abundantly clear that there were already concessions by progressives. And what I love about what she says here is that she calls out Manchin for constantly, first of all, confusing everyone about what he actually wants, what his priorities are, but he keeps moving the goalposts as well. Remember, the Senate has not voted on a full reconciliation bill yet. However, they did vote on the framework of the bill, meaning that Democrats in the Senate, every single one of them, including Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, voted to approve the $3.5 trillion price tag on the budget reconciliation bill, okay? That vote matters. Now AOC calls Manchin out for moving the goalposts. Let's watch.
Some of our Senate colleagues are all over the place. You know, Senator Manchin started off with an openness to 3.5 trillion. This is reporting as far back as June. And also on the record saying a two-track strategy is the main strategy that we have. So this was what Senator Manchin was saying 2 months ago. And so the question that we have is which senator are we negotiating with? Is this June Manchin? Is it September Manchin? Is it August Manchin? Will December Manchin be a different, will this be a different senator that pops up? So when you have a moving target, and when we've been in infrastructure negotiations for 6 months, and the two main senators, after 6 months of negotiations, still don't even have an idea of what their number is, that just pulled one out yesterday after being engaged in these conversations for 6 months, this is what is leading, their lack of consistency and their lack of homework is creating instability to this process.
So not only was that a strong statement, it was an accurate description of what went down, and Manchin really has no credible response. In fact, get a load of the lies he told when reporters asked him about his top line number.
Did you share that number with the president, and has that 1.5?
The last week or so.
Have you shared it with Senator Sinema? And did that number go up?
Senator Sinema knows that.
Has your top line raised since
my
then?
top line has not been. My top line has been 1.5 because I believe in my heart that what we can do and what the needs we have right now and what we can afford to do without basically changing our whole society to an entitlement mentality.
Manchin voted to approve the $3.5 trillion price tag on the budget reconciliation bill. So did Kyrsten Sinema. Why did they vote yes if later they're gonna come forward? By the way, Kyrsten Sinema hasn't given any specifics at all. She's just a massive, poorly dressed troll in the Democratic Party right now. It's like she gets some sort of like arousal off of being a troll. It's insane. But Manchin is like, no, I mean, I was always against $3.5 trillion. No, you weren't. You voted in favor of it. So did Kyrsten Sinema. Why did you vote in favor of it if you're gonna then turn around and say 3.5 trillion, too much. Now I'm gonna go down to 1.5 trillion? Please.
Okay, so we told you about this fake stalemate that Manchin and Sinema are creating, and now Manchin has done his own version of it. Sinema started by saying, "Oh yeah, I could do this bill, the larger bill, if we get a carbon tax." Wink. And then over to you, Joe. Joe goes, "There's no way we're gonna do a carbon tax. Coal, West Virginia, yeah, right." And now Manchin has turned around and said, "Well, we could do it if we raise taxes on corporations." By the way, by a smidge, by a scotch, right? And Sinema, that's her line in the sand. "Oh no, my beloved corporations." She has said that she will not raise a tax on them 1 cent. She agrees with Trump 100% that it should be at the ridiculously low 21%, right? So now they go, "Oh, well, we would love to do this, but we're at a stalemate because we both say that we won't do these two things to pay for." It's fake. They're on the same side. They're on the corporate side. I think there's some chance that they actually talked about it and came up with a concerted strategy, probably at the Chamber of Commerce, then told their two waiters, Manchin and Sinema, to go get them their food and said, "This is how you'll do it, and this is my order," okay? And those are the orders that are being executed right now that you're seeing. And then Manchin says, "Oh, they have an entitlement mentality." Wait a minute, we're not talking about how much because he keeps talking about the number of 5.4 trillion since coronavirus started last March. Oh, we spent 5.4 trillion. No, it isn't about how much. It's about who.
Exactly.
When you were spending it earlier, trillions of dollars on large corporations, you never talked about entitlement mentality. You never worried about the debt. You never talked about fiscal sanity or insanity. You were totally fine when we were shoveling trillions of dollars to your corporate friends. Now that it's come to the American people, it's like, whoa. These are bums. These are voters. They haven't even donated to me. No, screw them. They got an entitlement mentality trying to get something from the government without bribing me. What kind of mentality is that? Well, now you're beginning to get caught, Joe Manchin, and I'm here for it. Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.